If you want to start a press-on nail business but fear investing a bunch of time and money into equipment and inventory only to make no sales, I'm going to talk you through it. In previous videos, we touched on how to make press-on nails, how to determine your design selling structure, but in this video, we're going to get into how to actually sell your nails, and I'll share the research that I did prior to starting my shop, which selling platform I chose and why, and at the end, 5 actionable techniques that I've used to drive sales. Firstly, let's go through the 3 main platforms where you can safely sell your nails and some pros and cons you may not have considered for each one.
Selling press-on nails in person, whether it be at a local market or establishing a display in a nearby shop or salon, offers unique opportunities but also some challenges.
Selling in person can be a great way to make your first sales and build a trusting local customer base.
Selling at a market, for example, gives you the opportunity for direct customer interaction. To answer questions, allow them to tangibly see and hold your nails and size them.
There are a lot of misconceptions about press-on nails, so selling in person allows you to promptly address some of those concerns and questions.
However, by only selling in person, you might face limited market reach, confined by the local area, demographic, or foot traffic.
Being there in person also requires you to actually be there in person, so you're giving up your time and having to deal with any transportation logistics of bringing all your stuff in and tearing it down.
Most marketplaces have a booth rental fee, so make sure to do the math on how much your display will cost and how many sets you would need to feasibly sell to make your time profitable.
Okay, moving on to selling online. There are 2 main options when selling online: marketplace platform and an e-commerce website. So let's go through the pros and cons of each, and I'll let you know which option I'm currently using.
A marketplace platform, like Etsy, serves as an online hub where multiple sellers can showcase their products, often to a large pool of potential customers. Many press-on nail artists use Etsy as their main selling platform, and there's a good reason for that.
The pros to selling on Etsy is, especially if you don't have an existing customer base, you have access to a large community of interested buyers. So anyone searching press-on nails could potentially come across your sets.
It's pretty easy to set up a shop on Etsy. You can literally do it in an afternoon. So it is a low barrier to entry, especially if you have minimal technical knowledge. Though the platform may get you exposure, Etsy charges a listing fee of 20 cents per item, a transaction fee, which is about 5% of the total item cost, including shipping, and a payment processing fee. By nature, Etsy also comes with a higher competition, as your products will be listed beside those of other nail artists. Selling online, e-commerce website. E-commerce platforms such as Shopify, Wix, or Squarespace give you and your business an opportunity to establish a branded online store. They often offer tools and support for creating and customizing your entire shop, from website design to product management and payment processing. The pros to an e-commerce website is that you have complete control over branding, aesthetic, and ability to create a professional online store dedicated to your product.
Personally, I chose Shopify over the other e-commerce platforms because I just found it to be the most intuitive. From the moment I started researching how to build a website, what do I need to do, every question I had was answered in Shopify's support page, and they give you step-by-step exactly what you need to do. When setting up my shop, Shopify walked me through all of the things that I had to consider in order to make sales. So things like product descriptions and size and weight for shipping, local shipping carriers, and figuring out what markets I had to be shipping to and how much it would cost, printing my shipping labels directly from the site, using the customer information and pulling from that so I don't mess up any addresses, transactions and credit card payments and PayPal, which I did not want to touch with a 10-foot pole. I get questions all the time how I run my website. I don't. Shopify does. And I just do what they tell me to do. Anytime I have an issue that maybe I can't figure out or solve, I literally go to their little chat support and they answer so quickly, and they always fix my problem at no cost. So that's why I use Shopify.
Like the rest of the selling options, having your own website also has its cons. Namely, setting up a website has a much higher initial workload involved. It actually took me a few weeks to get my storefront sorted out. And then there's also ongoing website management. Having your own website also requires active marketing efforts to drive people to your site in the first place. Another consideration is cost. Shopify and most e-commerce platforms have a monthly subscription fee. Shopify, I think, has a subscription fee starting from $29.
This is important to keep in mind, as maybe I'll bring in, let's say, $300 a month, but that $29 fee, the subscription fee alone, plus the processing fee and transaction fee, would be almost 10% of your gross sales. So again, I encourage you to do the math for what's right for you. I did want to briefly mention that some people sell directly from social media using PayPal, but I honestly don't know much about how those shops work or how they run, and so I don't feel comfortable speaking to it. But if you are one of those people, please leave a comment, leave me some pros and cons below, because I am curious to know more about how you run it and what works and what doesn't. Okay, we are rapidly losing light, but we're gonna work with it. Hopefully we have a better sense of where we're gonna sell our product, but there's one consideration that we haven't spoken about yet, and that's how to actually drive the sales. I'm gonna walk you through 5 things you can do right now to either make your first sale or increase your current sales. And while making this list, admittedly, I realized that I could literally improve in every single one of these areas, so take it with a grain of salt. Just know I'm on this journey with you. One thing nobody tells you when you're starting your own business is that you are not just the artist or the owner, you are also the customer service rep, the inventory analyst, the custodian, and importantly, the marketing manager.
So number 1, start a social media account.
I know. You don't need to be on every platform. I started on TikTok, and I think I was on there for like the first 5 months before I even started on Instagram, and I drove all of my sales from TikTok. This was probably one of the smartest moves I made prior to opening my shop. I think I started my TikTok like 2 months before I was even ready to start selling. It allowed me time to build a little audience of people for when I was ready to sell and get them excited for the date that I finally did. I'm not ready. My sets aren't pretty enough yet. Don't care. Just post. Start posting. Just start sharing.
A couple quick tips to really focus on. Make sure your lighting's good. Take photos from multiple angles and include multiple photos of the sets themselves, and get closer up than you think.
I should also take my own advice, honestly. Number 2, use video. If you already have a social media account or you're just starting out but are having a hard time growing your audience, make reels, make TikToks. These have hands down been the fastest way that I've grown my audience and that I've seen the most rapid growth. If you're not sure what to film, go see what other people are posting and kind of replicate the style of video that you think would work best. Videos where I show my process are by far my most viewed videos across literally every platform. So building off my first point, which was to start a social media account, is that even if the sets aren't done and if they're not perfect, people do not care. They just want to see the nitty-gritty. Start sharing, and video is a great way to do that.
Another note is that people love ASMR. And there's so much good nail ASMR you can do.
Anyway, okay, number 3, find your niche. And I can't stress this enough. The incredible thing about press-on nails is that you don't need to make thousands of sales a month in order to be profitable. So you can really niche down. For me, I focused on BTS specific nails because it was an interest of mine, but niche does not have to mean themed nails. Niche could also just mean art style, so maybe you focus exclusively on 3D nails, or chrome nails, or nuance art, or you're an expert at painting really tiny mini hand-painted designs.
It's easy to get caught up in the trends that everyone else is doing, but I encourage you to make nails that you like, because that will reflect in your work, and people with a similar style, and trust me, they exist, will find you.
Number 4, make it really clear on how to buy your nails.
Have instructions in your social media highlights or somewhere on your website that walks the customer through how to size and how to purchase. The customer will be much more likely to purchase if they know exactly how it works and what to expect. Number 5, focus on customer service and product quality.
One of the hardest parts of running a press-on nail shop is getting the customer to put their initial trust in you and make that first sale. So when they do, make it count. Deliver them a quality product that is worth the price and be timely with any customer service.
Repeat customers are the best. Don't take that for granted.
I have about 20 more of these tips, but we are rapidly losing light, so we're not gonna have time in this video. I did, however, vlog this week, so maybe I'll sneak a couple into vlog, which will be coming out next week as a apology for missing last week's video. So we're gonna have 2 back-to-back videos coming up. So maybe I'll see you then. In the meantime, you can take 1 second, if you learned anything today, to leave the video a like. Really appreciate it. We'll see you soon.